April 18th Assembly meeting. And first, I'd like to welcome everyone in the audience and those at home watching on TV or either on the internet. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Honored to be here.
Mr. Croft.
Honored to be here.
Mr. Evans.
Honored to be here.
Mr. Flynn.
Present.
Ms. Great-Deck.
Honored to be here.
Got to be different, you know.
Mr. Trainee.
Proud to be here.
Mr. Steele.
I, too, am honored.
Mr. Peterson.
Honored to be present.
Mr. Starr.
Honored to be here.
Mr. Dunbar.
Honored to be here.
Mr. Weddleton.
Honored to be here.
You have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Would Ryan Starr come to the podium and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I haven't said it in a long time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. There are no minutes of previous meeting. Mr. Mayor?
May I approach, Madam Chair?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor.
Approach the minute.
This is from the mayor's staff to you. Thank you.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No chair's report. And I'm just going to ask if there's any committee reports. Any committee reports from anyone? Okay, good. Thank you. Mr. Trainee, can I have a motion to incorporate the laid on the table items, please?
Move to incorporate laid on the table items in the agenda, Madam Chair.
Second.
Seeing and hearing no objection, those items are incorporated. I'm going to read what they are first. AM 354 2017, certification of the April 4th, 2017 regular municipal election with attachment. AM 355 2017, certification of the concurrent special elections on April 4th, 2017 with attachment. We already approved those, correct? Okay. We are now at agenda item 9 at the consent agenda. Mr. Trainee, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
Move to approve the consent agenda as amended, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Trainee. Since we only have 3 items on the consent agenda and we need to address all 3, there is going to be nothing to be pulled. With that said, okay. Actually, we do need to pull agenda item 9A1. Can somebody do that, please?
So moved, Madam Chair. 9A1.
Thank you. And let's vote to approve the remaining 2 items on the consent agenda. Please vote. Okay, those 2 items are approved unanimously. We are now at agenda item 9A1, AR 2017-142, a resolution of the Anchorage Municipal Assembly recognizing and celebrating Anchorage municipal precinct workers. Can I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve, Madam Chair.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Ask unanimous consent. Seeing no objection, that item is approved. Someone's going to present and someone's going to read.
I'll be reading a resolution of the Anchorage Municipal Assembly recognizing and celebrating Anchorage municipal precinct workers. Whereas precinct workers are the face of democracy in action, assisting qualified voters in every aspect of the voting process and ensuring the conduct of fair, honest, and transparent elections. Whereas, in addition to assisting voters, precinct workers take responsibility for safeguarding the host facility and contending with sometimes uncooperative equipment. And whereas on Election Day, no matter the weather, precinct workers work a taxing 14 to 16-hour day, rising before dawn to open their polling location and finishing long after the sun has set. Whereas precinct workers occasionally encounter challenging situations, yet are charged with doing so courteously and efficiently. And whereas many committed precinct workers have demonstrated outstanding commitment to the right of suffrage by serving their community for multiple years and even multiple decades. Whereas precinct workers' ages span the generations and mirror Anchorage's diversity. And whereas precinct workers faithfully honor the oath to discharge their duties to the best of their abilities, completely impartial with respect to the candidates, political parties, or other influences. Whereas municipal election officials depend on reliable, dedicated teams of precinct workers to ensure a successful election day. And whereas it is most appropriate to recognize the contribution that precinct workers have made over the years each time a vote was cast. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Anchorage Assembly recognizes and celebrates Anchorage municipal precinct workers, passed and approved by the Anchorage Assembly this 18th day of April, 2017.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That's probably, that would take 650 to take a while.
Okay, we are now at agenda item 15A, certification of the April 4th, 2017 regular and special municipal elections. Can I have a motion to certify the election?
Move to certify, Madam Chair.
And a second, please. And we're going to vote on the board. Please vote. The election has been certified unanimously. The special election was also certified as well. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Mbosky.
Madam Chair, I didn't know if anybody from the Election Commission was going to come down and speak. I have a motion to make after they're done.
Would anyone from the commission like to come and speak? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mbosky.
Madam Chair and Assembly members, my name is Joyce Anderson. I'm Chair of the Election Commission. So I just want to say that we had a good election, and we met last week and went over the canvass and had a meeting earlier today. And those are the results that are before you. So we take our job very seriously, of course. And so we went through everything, and it's very accurate with what you have right now. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mbosky.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just on the topic of the election, if I may, I want to say when most of the room stood up as precinct workers, obviously this is just a fraction of the people who actually make a successful election. And it's because of all of your dedication and your service to our community that we are able to see this peaceful transition. And I know there's always hiccups. Everybody laughed when you talked about machines breaking. There's always hiccups, but it's your professionalism and truly compassion for your neighbors. I went into a polling place in Eagle River this year, and there was someone who had a handicap, and it took her quite a while. And the compassion and the patience that the election workers showed to make sure she was able to cast her vote was incredible. And I know that's in every precinct across Anchorage. And truly, this is you guys are amongst a historic group, right? This was our last in-person election for the city. And you should be proud of what you've accomplished. I'm proud to know many of you. And I just want to say, truly, thank you for your service to our community.
Thank you, Mr. Mbosky. Mr. Training.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank our clerk's office for running an excellent election. I know what you go through.
Thank you, Mr. Training. Mr. Mbosky.
Madam, if there's no other Assembly members in queue to talk on the election, I move to change the order of the day and bring up Assembly member comments.
Can we have a second, please?
Second.
Is there any objection to change the order of the day for Assembly comments? Seeing none, the order of the day is changed. Mr. Starr.
I'm going to not be here after tonight. That's probably a good thing. I'm not good for the departure speeches. I'm probably legendary for not speaking very much, but it can't go unsaid for several things. And I'll talk to two groups of folks up here primarily, and then one particular one out there. I think I'll break into two groups. One of them is the group that's going to remain as well as take over the reins. And that's a daunting task that's going to happen here with the financial challenges, the structure in Juneau, and the leadership required from those that are sitting up with this. It's going to be the A-team needs to be here with a get-along attitude and ability to work through the challenges of whatever's coming this way. To that end, I'll speak to the second group of folks that are up here, and those are the ones that are leaving with me. There's several of us that have gone to full term. We're being kicked out because we can't run again. That's the main thing. But I think we all came into this with the idea that we were going to change the world. And to a certain degree, we did change our little world. But we also did the lifting and the heavy lifting that was required. And those are things that some people didn't get to see, but we woke up one time in our career to a deficit of $33 million. We got through that, through leadership and through strong committee work. Ms. Gray Jackson in particular with the Budget and Finance Committee meeting, Patrick working with the liaison, Mr. Clayman stepping into acting mayor. Those challenges were there. We came through Title 21, bless Debbie Ostiander's heart to a lot of degree, but that will shape and change the face of our community. Chapter 10, pretty much non-sexy stuff. This is the things that we changed our little world by. I take credit for some of it. I also really commend the folks that stayed up here with me and glued it all together. The third group is actually out there in the audience. I'm not going to make them stand up. You got to see a brief of that. But my wife, Jackie, my daughter, Megan, good friend, Teresa, and my son, Ryan, and Megan's friend, Joe. It's odd because they rarely came to meetings, except they all now are in attendance for sort of the last and final. So thank you for putting up with me and all of that stuff. Thank you as I supported our community. Lastly, to the folks stepping up here, particularly Mr. Dyson, I'm here to help as that may be necessary. We've got challenging times ahead. Lastly, the administration, Mr. Mayor, your group and I spoke together on Friday. It was nice, kind words that you imparted from you and your staff. So thank you for that. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Starr. There's no one else in the queue. Ms. Domboski?
Oh, I couldn't let this moment go past. I'm going to go right down the line, starting with Mr. Evans. It's always fun when you have people that are independent thinkers because it challenges you to look for creative solutions. And Mr. Evans, there's no question you have left a mark on the Anchorage Assembly and the municipality of Anchorage. I jokingly said last week that I don't know who's going to bring up the mantra of we need a revolution in education. I don't know that I could do it justice as you have, but I've learned a lot. I've watched you. I've learned from you, and I just appreciate the way you critique issues and the way that you challenge me on my own ideas. And I will miss you. Believe it or not, I will. Mr. Flynn, I just want to say thank you. You know, I said to you a long time ago, it took me 2 years to figure you out, and I still haven't done it. It's been 4 years. But I would watch Patrick, and sometimes I wouldn't understand why he would vote a certain way, and I'd be surprised sometimes when he and I were the only dissenting voices. But what I have really appreciated about you is just that you're so inquisitive, but you are so independent when it comes to questioning and going back to the charter and reminding us all what the charter was about and what it said and why it said it. And that is something that this body, if you're a new member or one of the older members that's staying, I challenge you to go back and reread the charter to understand it, because I am telling you, with Mr. Flynn leaving, that is a void that I see on this body. And I want to tell you I appreciate that. I appreciate you mentoring me and educating me on many issues, and you will definitely be missed. Miss Gray Jackson, if I do this without crying, I'll be shocked, but I'll try. LV, I don't know where to begin. See, I'm going to do it. I'm going to see Bill keep laughing. I don't know where to begin. You have opened up your home to me. You have mentored me. You have given me the opportunity to reach across and work for the people of Anchorage. And you and I know we're both in it for community service. And I don't think people see that always. They see the partisan nature of things. But the thing I am most proud about is my first piece of legislation. You helped me carry that. Your name is on it. And it was a public safety item that will save numerous lives, in my opinion. And your mentoring, your friendship, I will never forget. And I will still continue to cultivate whether you're on this body or not. And I just want to say thank you, not just for allowing this girl from Chugiak to be your friend, but for helping me be successful on the assembly. You will definitely be missed.
Thank you.
Okay, now the tears are gone. Stop laughing, Bill. Okay.
Is he laughing at us?
I know. Last but not least, Mr. Starr, I don't even know where to begin. We spoke earlier, and that conversation will stay between us, but I have watched, believe it or not, it takes a unique individual to inspire a 30-year-old to watch assembly meetings every Tuesday night. And somehow you did it. Somehow you did it. Your dedication to our community of Chugiak Eagle River is second to none. Your experience, your depth of knowledge, not just on land use issues, but on how things are going to impact our community, and your tenacity are something that I hope that I can someday fill those shoes, though I doubt it will quite be possible. But Bill, when I stepped up to run for the assembly, I was excited. And it's not just because I get to represent our community, but it was because I got to work with you, because I got to learn from you. I'm always hungry for, what is it I'm missing? What am I forgetting? And you were always there. You served an extra term just to help me get to the place where I am today, to make sure that our community is taken care of. And that, beyond anything else, that dedication to service and service before self is something that I think Chugiak Eagle River residents are grateful for, and that they see it every day. And I am just so thankful for your service, not just on this body, but planning and zoning before, the community council before that. And this is exactly what I think a public servant should be. It's somebody who does their homework, works and fights tirelessly for the community and the people they represent. And I can't say enough to your family how grateful I am that they were so supportive in letting you serve us. And you will definitely be missed. But I have your phone number on speed dial, so.
Thank you, Mr. Bosky. Mr. Flynn.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm looking forward to leaving, actually. Going to have a few friends over, and one of them who can't make it said, well, it was only 1/5 of his life. What's the big deal? There's a lot of thank yous. First and foremost, of course, to the tremendous team here. Barbara, Lisa, Sierra, Rose, Amanda. Mandy's not here, a couple others. I mean, to the extent we look good, which is rare, it's because of you. So thank you so much. Oh, yes, Heidi is on.
Heidi's on the phone.
Right. Yeah, actually, Heidi's the only one who makes us look good every week. And to my neighbors who were kind enough to let me be their voice on this body for all these years. And you always get the question when you run for office from from our friends in the Fourth Estate? You know, what are you hearing at the door? What are the issues that are important? And I always answered it, but I didn't necessarily answer it as completely as I could have. Because what I usually heard at the door was, well, how's your mom? What's your dad doing these days? Is your sister ever going to move back home? She did. Because that's the privilege of representing a district where you grew up and where people may not necessarily agree with you, but they know you and they trust you to do your best. Maybe not necessarily going to get it right, and I certainly didn't every time, but to do your best. And of course, the biggest thank you is to some people sitting in the front row here tonight. Each of you who are up here know the people down there make big sacrifices that allow us to serve. So, to my beautiful wife, Tina, to my handsome sons, Kian and Kylan, to my lovely sister and her husband, Brian, thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry, Amy, I'm following your footsteps again.
You want a tissue?
No, I'm good. I'll just finish by summarizing some of the comments I made, because this is not really about us tonight who are leaving. It's about those of you who are coming in and those of you who are staying. You have a big responsibility in front of you. Mr. Starr spoke to that. And I summarize that as saying you have a responsibility as a fiduciary of the municipality to the constituency you represent and to the institution of the assembly. Ms. Domboski spoke to that about my discussion of the charter. I wish I could tell you it's easy. They always align. They never do. Your responsibility is to negotiate that thicket, and I look forward to seeing you do so in an effective manner. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Flynn. Mr. Steele?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm hopefully not going to need a tissue, but this body is an amazing body. It's not partisan. It's not parochial. It does the city's business in a competent manner. There's not infighting that you got something, therefore I should have something. It's just doing the city's business, and the folks leaving are true professionals. Been here a long time and seen the city grow and change. I'm going to miss you. You guys have taught me a lot, and we will go forward without you because we have some good folks coming up, and we will continue the mission. If we don't, I'm sure we'll hear from you. But please keep us on our toes. And Patrick, thank your mom for me. And Bill, we're going to miss you tremendously. You have made a big impact in your short time here. You've worked hard. You've given us an awful lot of free legal time, and I for one appreciate it. Bill, you're going to go back, but you're going to watch us. You're going to know what's going on, and I hope to hear from you when you've got something positive to say. Anyway, Elvie, you've been here forever, not on the assembly necessarily, but with the city. You had great experience. I was lucky enough to be on a couple of committees with you, the budget committee, among others. And you always knew what was going on, or at least appeared to. And And this is not an us or them. We work with the administration, but we are a separate body, and we have responsibilities to understand what they're doing and to make sure we understand it. But you all, everyone to a T, will be missed, and the new people coming on are great folks. But there's a bit of a learning curve, and we will get through it. Thank you all for your service.
Thank you, Mr. Steele. Mr. Weddleton.
Oh, thank you. Let's talk about comic books for a moment. So some of you may not know, but at Christmas time I gave everyone a little jar of tasty jam and a special custom-made button. And I gave a little thought to the button before I gave it to them. So starting down at the far with my South Anchorage colleague, Bill Evans was Magneto. And, you know, Magneto, a lot of people loathe him, a lot of people champion him. Magneto doesn't care, which you do. But wherever Magneto is, you know big things are going to happen. And that was Bill Evans, and he did not stop after Christmas with big things. Very, very impressive, and really enjoyed working with him. Patrick Flynn. Patrick Flynn was, of course, Loki. Like Loki, if he's only half as smart as he thinks he is the brightest man in the room, and does everything with some degree of mischief, sometimes a lot. So it was a perfect fit. For Elvie, interesting enough, they have been drawing the comic character Storm to look like Elvie for decades. So I chose Storm not just because of that, but because also Storm is a force of nature, as is Elvie. And it's been a joy working with her. I've learned so much, not just in this year, but even in my involvement prior to being on the Assembly. And Bill Starr. Bill Starr got Iron Man. Not just because he's a rich guy who likes to fly, but also, you know, one way or the other, he ends up fighting really hard for what he thinks is right, and that's important. So thank you, all of you. I will miss you. I'm looking forward to the new people, but it's been a great year.
Thank you, Mr. Weddleton. Mr. Trainee.
Mr. Evans, I've appreciated working with you. We've got two types of people in this assembly, potted plants and those who want to get things done. Thanks for not being a potted plant. There's a lot of them in Juneau. Used to be on the assembly. I can name them for you, but why do that now? They're down there. But you shook things up. I may not always agree with you, but you shook them, and I appreciate that. Thank you for working with us. Mr. Flynn, I worked with you and your mother. I'm probably the only member to work with both of you on the assembly. I liked your mother. But, you know, you've done a great job on here. So thank you very much for your service. And Bill, you and I talked earlier. I'm not going to go over that again, but I enjoyed working with you. And I'm serious about the naming committee for the tactical firing range there in Birchwood. We need you on that committee, so we'll be reaching out to you. And Elvie, when I first came to the Assembly and started haunting the place, and probably, what did we think, 89, 88 time frame? You were there. You know, and I've worked together get well for years. You even have a T-shirt that says, "Who are you going to call?" in the back. It says Dick and Elvie. Collector's editions are available to people that want. But we've done a lot, and I appreciate working with you. And I've got something for you, by the way. Traditionally, we give the chairman a gavel, a tiny one, that says how long they served. Since I've been chairman longer, stand up, ma'am. We're going to give this to you. Here you go. And there'll be nobody, Elvie, that can replace you. Although Felix has been trying, I'm told he's ups to where he can get in size 12 shoes. So that's him. He's got big shoes to fill.
My business on the street.
Anyway, it's been great working with you, Elvie. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you, Mr. Trainee.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Peterson.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Madam Chair. I've really enjoyed working with you these last 3 years. 3 years have actually gone by rather rapidly, but your leadership has been exemplary, and the whole city is going to miss you. And as far as Mr. Evans is concerned, it's been fantastic serving with you for these last 3 years. We still haven't got together to play that round of golf, but one of these days, we'll have to do that. Patrick, appreciate your service on this board. Many, many years dedicated, and I appreciate all you've done, and I hope you enjoy your Tuesdays off for a while. Mr. Starr, got to sit next to you for many meetings over the last 3 years, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. You're a real gentleman, and you do good work. We'll be lucky if we are able to find someone that'll pick up and take off where you left off. But that's where Fred comes in. So anyway, thanks to all of you. I appreciated working with you. And even though we didn't always agree, we weren't disagreeable about it. And I think that's an important thing for the new members to keep in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Mr. Evans?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wasn't going to say anything, but there's a chance if we keep talking, we'll get a dinner break.
Not tonight.
But I didn't. If I didn't say anything, then people would think it's true that I don't care what anybody thinks, because it's not true. I really appreciate the comments, and I really appreciate the last 3 years of working with everyone here. I think Pete was talking about it. Everybody looks at the Assembly and thinks it's a political body, and there's people on the left and people on the right and all those kind of things. They try to put us in different boxes, but the reality is, as we work together, we disagree, and the votes go all kind of different ways. I've been on the same side and against each one of you at various times, but it is always very collegial. Everybody's friendly. They're all, everybody's good people. I'm going to miss spending time with you all throughout the week, and just wanted to say on behalf of those that are leaving, I met Elvie the first time when we were I was running for election, she was running for re-election, and every time we went to an event, she would always be next to me and never have a pen, and she'd always have to borrow my pen. So for the first couple of years on the Assembly, I was sitting next to her and always brought extra pens just in case. But it was really, it was fun sitting down there next to Elvie because she's hysterical, amongst her many other traits. And even though I tell other people otherwise, I do like you, and I've really enjoyed serving with you.
I appreciate that.
It's just you, I tell you. And Bill, I just in awe. Anybody, just 10 and a half years, I think it is, on this body and all the time at P&Z, they should build a statue to you somewhere. I mean, it's public service writ large. And like everybody said before, you always did your homework. You knew the details, especially things like Title 21, the building codes, things that just would be mind-numbing for everybody to study. You knew the details. You kept us on track. It was an invaluable resource that this body is going to miss. But it's been a pleasure working with you. Patrick, what's there to say? Sandals. Yeah, sandals. He's got his sandals on for me tonight. But it's been always a pleasure working for you. Everybody always thinks you're the lawyer on the body, too. I don't know what that is about. But like everybody said before, you're always very independent, very balanced. I could always count on you as being a reasoned vote on whatever it was, whether we agreed with each other or not. And it's been a pleasure serving with you. And thanks to everybody in the administration. It is amazing exactly how many good people work for this city. One of the funnest things is when you're on the Assembly, you get to call people up at different departments, and they'll answer your call because they think you can do something. But it's amazing how much work they get done and how good they are and how responsive they are. It's an amazing organization. I've enjoyed my 3 years here, and thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. I guess it's me now. But anyway, I did a farewell newsletter that I sent out to about 10,000 of my constituents, and I gave my colleagues one this evening, and the administration that got theirs a week or so ago, along with a who are you going to call T-shirt. But anyway, I'm tired of crying. I really am. I've been crying all day. So with that said, I've asked Madam Clerk to read my notes.
So I'm going to scoot over here so that you know that I'm Storm, or Elvie. As I leave the Anchorage Assembly, it has truly been an honor to serve the people of Midtown and the citizens of Anchorage for the last 9 years. As the leadership for the last 2 years, Dick and I have worked hard to provide guidance to all of you and establish and expand Assembly committees. We are both so proud to have had the foresight to create the Rules Committee. This committee allows the Assembly to further engage our community by allowing them to express their concerns prior to introduction or action on proposed legislation. My goal for Anchorage was to improve public safety, support education for our children, maintain integrity and ethics in government, grow our economy, and enhance the quality of life. I did my best. I know I haven't always voted the same way some of you may have hoped, but I'm proud to say I've always listened, never made any decision based on personal opinion, and did what I thought was best for the community as a whole. Working together as a body, we've accomplished lots. We've approved ordinances to allow the voters to decide what they wanted our city to look like. Fortunately, our citizens realize the importance of adequate road projects, improving drainage issues, and the need to increase public safety through projects that support police and fire, maintaining parks, securing funding for public transit, and more. I am grateful to have worked with all of you, whether it's been 1 year, 4 years, or 9 years. But to the departing members, Mr. Starr, I've seen firsthand just how much your community means to you. You always fought on behalf of your constituents and represented them well. Mr. Evans, I'm so glad I got to know you. You've always done what you believed was the right thing to do. I admire you for that and also for your great sense of humor. I'll miss that. Mr. Flynn, as you know, we've known each other for many years. I'm honored that I had the privilege of serving you while on the Assembly for the last 9 years. I believe we've learned from each other. Mayor Berkowitz, thank you for the great job you've done in moving our community forward in so many areas. It's been an honor working with you. To the Assembly staff, I hope you've enjoyed my personal notes written to each of you. The municipal workforce is amazing, and it is so important for us all to remember that they are the ones that provide the services to our citizens. It is bittersweet leaving this remarkable function of local government, and I will always have great memories of the people I've helped, the ones I've tried to help, and the many success stories I have to share. The only words of wisdom I have for all of you is to remember why we are here. We are here to represent the citizens of Anchorage. To all, thank you for making the last 9 years some of the best years of my life. You're welcome.
Thank you. It's now time for the oath of office, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are honored to have the Alaska Supreme Court Chief Justice Craig Stowers here to administer the oath of office. Justice Stowers will come to the podium, and if the new Assembly members will please stand in front and face the audience.
All right, I'm not going to embarrass you like I usually do most people. swear or affirm. Are you ready? Please raise your right hand. I solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Alaska, and the Charter of the Municipality of Anchorage, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of Anchorage Assembly member to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
Always sad. I've gone through this.
You gotta say bye to anybody else?
All next to each other.
Don't want to be down here. I don't want to be down here.
I'm going to wait out there for you, yeah. I'm going to wait out.
I really don't. Mr. Starr.
I leave it in your hands.
We'll see you around on Friday.
I'll be in the streets. I'll see you at home. You're going to pick up some of the audio. Yeah, which bathroom here? Out of construction. Okay.
Upstairs.
Okay, never mind.
Third floor.
I'll be fine without it.
Okay, you're staying with Ryan. You guys can get back to the house.
Yeah, we'll see you.
I know. Don't worry about it. We need to resume the meeting. If everybody will take their seat, please. No, I'm gonna.
A little bit busy right now, but not quite where we want to be. I hope
If everybody will take their seats, please, we need to resume the meeting. Miss Gray Jackson, did you leave your phone up here, Elvie? It makes a wonderful holder for a gavel. We're now down to item 15C. If the new members will take an empty seat. Felix here. We're down now to Assembly reorganization. The Assembly Clerk will administer the election of Chair and Vice Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I move to reorganize the Anchorage Assembly.
We need a second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any objection? Not seeing any. We'll reorganize the Assembly then. Madam Chair, Madam Clerk, you conduct the election for Chair and Vice Chair. Ben Chabowski, you're first on the list, ma'am.
I'm waiting for Barbara. Go ahead.
Nominations shall be heard from the members for chair of the assembly.
Ms. Chabowski.
Mr. Chair, I move to nominate Mr. Croft and Mr. Trainee for chair.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, the nominations are closed. The deputy clerk and the clerk are going to pass out ballots. The ballots are secret ballots. After you vote, we'll pick the ballots up, and then we will announce the vote.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Trainee has a majority of the votes for chair.
Thank you. Next is Vice Chair.
Nominations shall be heard from as many members of the assembly shall desire to make for the vice chair.
Ms. Chabowski.
Mr. Chair, I nominate Mr. Peterson and Mr. Dunbar.
Are there any other nominations?
Nominations? Go ahead and close the nominations.
The nominations are closed, and the clerk's office will distribute secret ballots for the office of vice chair.
Maybe next time we can vote by mail. Hey, Fred, do you remember when you were on here, we had the voting down here on the bottom of the dais? That hasn't been hooked up in about 6 years. So push it to your heart's content does nothing. And the computer system hasn't gotten any better over the years either. It still goes slow. It was funny because when I came on the body, Fred was here. I was a new member in '91. and he was kind to me. It's good to see you back again, sir. Thank you. Get my other gavel too. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Dunbar has the majority of votes for vice chair.
Congratulations, Mr. Dunbar. What we'll be doing in the interim days, we'll be coming up with a seating chart for everybody. I'll be working on that. And we make a committee assignment, so I'll be having the clerk send you out a list of all the committee assignments. Let me know what you want to serve on. We'll see if we can make that happen for each of you. So we appreciate that. We do have new member orientation coming up on Thursday and Friday. Madam Clerk, do you want to go through when it starts? Have you sent it out to everybody, new members?
Through the chair, yes, Mr. Chair, we have sent out announcements to all of the new members, and we've heard back from most of them. One of the things that is important, it's an opportunity to get your municipal email and your municipal employment taken care of. So those are pretty important meeting dates. In addition, there are some work sessions regarding budget, and those are important for both the new members as well as the continuing members, because some of them concern first quarter budget, which will be before the body next week on the 25th.
Okay. And they'll be giving you ID cards, and they should have a strip on the ID cards, so the buildings, when you come into them, just move your ID card to your wallet and the door will unlock for you. It should work down at City Hall and in here. So I want you to know about that, because we've had that for years, and some members didn't even know it, so I want to make sure the new members have it. But my job as chairman is to make this body work successfully and peacefully, so I intend to do that. I appreciate being elected chairman again. It's been an interesting year. Faced a lot of controversies coming to us in the state because of lack of funding. So we're going to have to work together to make sure this works. And Forrest, I look forward to working with you as vice chairman.
Just a point of order. Would you retire that gavel for Elvin? Because I haven't been looking.
I like this one. Only a comic book man would give me Thor's hammer. Thank you. I could use this one. Okay, we're now down to item 16, unfinished agenda. There is none. Audience participation. Is there anybody that would like to address the assembly on any issue? Please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes. State your name, spell your last name, and tell us what part of town you live in. What part of town you live in is important because with AO 37, we changed the code to require you to tell us what part of town you live in. So, go ahead, sir.
My name is Eugene Cohaven. I reside in the Valley. I represent myself. I follow the process used by officials for these public meetings, and the appropriate process used for these public meetings and the decision made by the governing body will more likely be in the public interest. Over the years since the election of 2012, I monitored the election and I was a key observer. And what I witnessed from all those years prior to this is I declared the elections illegitimate. A key to election is observation, but also another key is to comply with state law, provide a reasonable opportunity for the public to be heard. Now, I witnessed 2 critical election commission meetings, one today, just prior to this meeting, and one a few days ago was called Canvass. They did ask for public comment, but unfortunately, they asked for public comment after they made a decision. Now, you had items here that were laid on the table tonight. You saw those laid on that table during was prior certification. There was no copies for the public. This is what's going on. Now, I also should note that the most important decision a government body decides on is the certification of the election. But you had public comment when? You denied the opportunity for public comment when? I'm speaking for a different assembly now, not the body decides certification. They violated state law, the preceding assembly that was sitting here a few minutes ago. And the state law that they violated was a statute AS 29.20.020 to provide a reasonable opportunity to be heard at all public meetings. And then I have been, although I'm recognized as the Mat-Su Valley, I've been Alaskan since the 70s, and half my years I have been a resident of Anchorage. But as many people around the state know who I am, I'm probably the major party that audits the public process around the state, including the Alaska Public Offices Commission. I'm greatly disappointed, but I'm not surprised. And in a statement I said a few years ago, no one won this election, everyone lost. Nothing's changed. And then just in closing, a key change that occurred that I saw was prior in the canvass board meetings, you would have letters go out to ask for an opportunity to appeal if their decision had been denied. And the election commission would review it. But the letters go up after the canvass. And you had one critical thing going, the opportunity of allowing people to challenge the decision of allowing their vote to count, but it's not anymore.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
There are none, sir. Thank you. Anybody else wish to address the assembly on any issue? Welcome, sir.
Mr. Edmund, I think you left your cell phone. There you go.
Thanks a lot. Mercy.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Assembly. My name is Paul Honeman. I'm a proud East Side resident. Mr. Dunbar, Mr. Peterson. And to the administration, thank you for allowing the time to speak tonight. I wanted to congratulate those who are joining the body, and as has been said and stated many times before, it's a lot of work to be done. So we look forward to seeing your accomplishments, and there will be many, I'm sure. I would be remiss if I didn't take a few moments to at least acknowledge Ms. Tucker, who leaves as the Assembly Counsel at the end of the month, and her many years of service. Also, Mr. Dean Gates, congratulations on taking position for Ms. Tucker. I know that it's a huge responsibility, and for the members who've never had a chance to work with Assembly Counsel, it's very important, it's very critical. So thank you for that. I would make one request. I'm not a constituent on Miss Gray Jackson, so I didn't get a copy of that little flyer. I'd love to see if I could get a copy. So, Mr. Peterson, maybe we can share one with me if you've got it. So thank you very much. Congratulations. And I look forward to the mail-in elections starting next year. And perhaps an increase of, if there's anything disappointing, I'd say, is the voter turnout was still below 25%, I understand, and maybe with the mail-in elections. And Ms. Mosier, thank you for your stewardship over the municipal elections, and we look forward to see if we can get closer to 70 or 80%. I know, I'm living in a dream world, but we hope that we can get there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. No questions from Assembly members. Anybody else wish to address the Assembly on any issue? Anyone at all? Not seeing anybody? Move on to Assembly comments. We can start. Amy, anything?
No, I was just going to move to adjourn.
Anything down there? Okay. Yes, sir.
I just want to take a moment to put on the record that Anchorage has crossed the threshold, that for the first time in the history, openly gay elected officials now serve this city, that the process has been long and hard, that this city has gone back and forth for 40 years determining representation for LGBT people should be equal, and that protection should be provided under law, and we've gotten there, and we've taken the next step, and I look forward to serving this body and taking care of our roads and our streets and our public safety and all the issues that are important therein, and I'm glad I'm not alone. We're going to march forward and show a way for this city, so thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other Assembly comments? Okay, the motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second, we're adjourned.